I just glanced at the sky inadvertently when I got out of the car. I didn't expect to see an extremely outrageous scene. Numerous flocks of birds have gathered from all directions, keep singing and hovering in the sky. However, this anomaly, it's starting to happen everywhere. The birds and animals in the zoo start to get hypermanic. All this anomaly, foreshadow, a catastrophe that could destroy the earth is imminent. Watermelon-sized hail falls on the streets of Tokyo. People run away wailing. It was chaotic. A man who had just left work was unfortunately hit by a hailstorm. He lost his life in vain. In the distant Antarctic, a survey team also suffered an accident. When drilling to extract samples, the ice shelf broke off. Captain Jack heard the movement and rushed out. A crew member and a drill started rolling off the assembly line. They decisively abandoned the drilling rig, saved the team member. However, the machine has been lost. Samples collected must be preserved. Jack ignored the danger, jumped hard to the opposite side, although he succeeded in obtaining the sample. But the crack behind me is getting bigger and bigger. To return the sample, he has no choice but to fight hard. Critical moment. The ice axe on him saved his life when two players pulled him up. Only then did they realize that it was not just the feet that were cracked. It's the whole shelf with no edge in sight. Ocean observers have discovered ocean temperatures dropped 13 degrees. They thought the probe buoy had malfunctioned. In fact, the sea has long been turbulent. Until the next day, another new buoy has an abnormality. Only then did they realize the seriousness of the matter. Even the distant space station, the ball also became something the astronauts had never seen before. Huge storm clouds are gathering above the earth, as if to swallow it whole. It's hailing on the coast of Los Angeles. Tourists are all trapped in place, and it's even worse in the cities. A huge tornado is coming into an end, slowly formed. And why is this happening? Washington Weather Center learned of abnormal weather in various places. All kinds of experts immediately gathered for an emergency meeting, negotiate countermeasures for this incident. However, in the blink of an eye, several connected dragons have appeared in Los Angeles. Tornado. Journalists on the side of the road reported what was happening in front of them, unaware that the danger has arrived. Hollywood was destroyed in an instant. They had no buildings. Two tornadoes converged. Thousands of cars were swept into the air. It was a terrible rain of cars. Where the storm reached, everything was swallowed up. Los Angeles was devastated. And this was just the beginning of the disaster. Countries in the northern hemisphere are experiencing extreme weather, although countless experts have come together, but no one could figure out what had happened. Jack, who just came back from Antarctica, 24 hours, constant speculation about future weather, and the results came back a few weeks later. Extreme weather will get worse, and among the samples collected in Antarctica, Jack discovered the problem. This is the result of global warming. Soon after, Earth will repeat the ice age 2 million years ago. Humanity as a whole is about to face a great challenge. Jack rushed to report the situation to the vice president. I hope he can respond in time, and to the northern cities where the storm arrived first, carry out evacuation work. But the president thinks Jack is alarmist. The snow has persisted for 24 hours, and shows no signs of stopping. The previously sunny Ocean Observatory, it's now completely covered in snow. The government dispatched 3 planes to the rescue. Huge snowstorms cause near zero visibility. They have to learn from experience. However, danger has quietly arrived. Right now they are in the center of the storm. The extremely low temperature directly froze YouTube to death. The plane instantly lost power, 40 kilometers from the destination. All 3 planes crashed from the sky into the snow-capped mountains. The pilot, who just survived the difficulties, opened the airplane door. Unexpectedly, something even more terrifying happened. He just made contact with the outside world. It was instantly frozen into an ice sculpture by the extreme cold of -100 degrees. New York street disaster creeps in. A homeless person takes shelter from the rain. Saw a surprising scene. Sewers are not flooded. Instead, water keeps gushing out. In the blink of an eye, the water in the city is getting higher and higher. The roads are full of cars. People don't realize it yet. A catastrophe is coming. Raging waters are roaring towards New York. Free News is instantly submerged. The weather model calculated by Jack shows that the Earth's temperature is still dropping rapidly. The storm will intensify again. When the storm is over, the Earth will become a world of glaciers. However, at this time, Jack's son Sam, New York is in dire straits. All transportation has been suspended. Sam can't get out of here. To save his life, he and his classmates can only to the highest point in the city. Can be halfway. Girlfriend Laura attempts to rescue a mother and daughter trapped in a car. Accidentally scratched his calf. Sam found that the flood had started to come this way. He rushed towards Laura without hesitation, rescued her in a crisis. Ink follows them, and they started pouring into the library. Everyone is forced to climb to the top. At this moment, New York has become a city of water. All wireless communication equipment failed. Sam found an old connected phone. Finally got in touch with my parents, hearing that my son is still alive. The husband and wife were not happy. Jack immediately told Sam, no matter what happens, don't go outside. Look for anything that burns to keep warm. A blizzard will soon hit New York. When in the eye of the wind, the air will instantly drop to below zero. Baidu living people will be frozen into ice in seconds. Jack promised that he would find his son himself, but the water level keeps rising. Sam was unable to respond to his father, staring at the water for a long time without response. Laura thought he was dead, but then he suddenly emerged from the water. The water is freezing cold. To prevent illness, Laura takes off her coat, keeps Sam warm with his body. The temperature started dropping. What started as a rainstorm turned into fluttering snow. They looked for anything that would keep them warm, all draped over to keep warm. A surviving dog seems to have discovered something. Screaming out, people look in the direction of the barking dog. A cruise ship from Russia floated into New York in a mighty manner. Jack, on the other side of town, starts packing up his gear, ready to rescue children 300 kilometers away in New York. However, at this time, the leader suddenly came to the door. He wants Jack to come forward again to convince the top of the government, help people get out of trouble. But Jack had already informed the vice president. He chose to ignore, but the the leader told him. This time he will report directly to the president. For the sake of the overall situation, Jack can only come to the presidential conference room first. He said nothing. Draw a line directly on the map. Now, everyone south of this line must be evacuated immediately to give them a chance. After that, he left in a hurry, embarked on a retrograde journey to New York. However, Jack just left. The vice president has started to be evil again. He again questioned Jack's plan. This way in New York, the water in the city has been frozen. Many survivors began to evacuate south. The people in the library suddenly became uneasy. A police officer wants to take those present away, and he thought, irrationally, if you don't run, you won't have a chance. Sam tried to persuade the police officer, you will freeze to death when you go out. But he felt that, it's no use staying here, but we can only helplessly watch them die. Under sight, total loss of rules. People no longer worship the law. Thousands of people rushed to the Mexican border, using illegal smuggling to gain a chance at survival. This forced Mexico to close the border. The US government can only forgive all of Mexico's debt, in exchange for a glimmer of life for the people. Jack chose to go the other way. He's going to New York to fulfill his promise to his son. Two teammates chased after each other. They decided to accompany Jack, but not long ago, accidents happen. The closer to the north, the snowstorm gets bigger. Not only is the line of sight severely blocked, and because of the snow cover, the city is no longer what it used to be. They can only rely on radar to determine their current location. Suddenly the car was stopped by an inexplicable force. However, the current heavy snow has made it impossible to continue driving. In desperation, Jack can only make one dangerous choice. They were walking on tall buildings covered in ice and snow. You don't even know it. The ceiling under your feet is made of glass. As they struggle through the cold wind, an already flawed piece of glass begins to crack. The gravity of the sled keeps them falling. A team member was prohibited from entering the building. Fortunately, Jack took out the snow pick, only barely fixed the three of them. Players suspended in midair in order to reduce weight. You can only cut the sled's connecting rope with a dagger. The sled immediately fell to pieces. It also warns them that they will die if they fall. The two try to pull the player up. Another player uses his own strength, hold up the falling player. Jack tries to get closer to them, but soon the accident reappeared. Another piece of glass due to excessive force. Cracks are also starting to appear. He knew that if this continued, all three have to explain. Here he can only choose to sacrifice himself. Police officers and others leaving the library stopped under the bridge, against wind and snow. Now they are in a dilemma. But if you stay put, you will definitely freeze to death. They can only continue to advance into the unknown, but just about to go, but found a couple accidentally fell asleep. No matter what he called, there was no response, and then he realized that they had frozen to death. Looking down on the earth from space, the terrifying eye of the wind is like a giant ice cream, and within an hour, New York would be in the eye of the storm. Sam and others left in the library. Collect all the books, as a war material. Keep throwing it into the fireplace. They smashed the window of the vending machine. Take out the snacks inside, at least not in the short term. There was a brief sound on the radio. From the news, the storm swept across the northern hemisphere. Europe was buried under 15 feet of snow. Blackie thinks Sam's father is unlikely to come, but Sam was unusually determined. Girlfriend Laura has a sudden fever. Consciousness also starts to blur. It turned out to be because I scratched my calf before. The wound was not treated promptly. That leads to sepsis. She must be given targeted drugs in a timely manner. Otherwise, Laura's life will be in danger. To save Laura, Sam decided to go out in search of drugs despite the danger, and two classmates also decided to go out with her. They set their sights on the Russian ship, and that's the closest and the most promising places for drugs to exist. They soon found the ship's infirmary. Three people are trying to open the locked iron door, but I didn't realize that a group of uninvited guests came behind me. The wolves that escaped from the zoo. I also came to the boat hungry. Sam finds a fire axe. He went outside and found the location of the infirmary, broke the glass and got in. After finding life-saving medication, several people are ready to leave here, but the companion Xiaopei found the restaurant on the boat, and they were running out of food. They're all here. You have to bring some food back. But I didn't expect that when Xiaopei was rummaging through the box, accidentally triggered the life raft, and this unfortunately attracts the attention of the wolves. A wolf greedily bit one of them on the leg. Keep tearing. Sam hit him hard on the head with a flashlight. It took a lot of effort to make him relax. The three of them could only return to the restaurant, although his life was temporarily saved. But now they've become turtles in an urn, even if not eaten by wolves. Sooner or later you will freeze to death here, and the companion was also injured. Sick Laura is also in urgent need of medication. They must find a way to escape. In a hurry, Sam decides to take another risk. He went out the window, back to the infirmary. Making a noise attracted the wolves. Use it to buy time for your partner. After shaking off the wolves, he goes back to the restaurant again from outside, successfully reuniting with teammates. By this time, the rumors had reached the center of New York. Everywhere I went was frozen. Sam and the three must get back as soon as possible, or you will die here. Jack on the other side of the city also noticed the anomaly. Teammates faint from exhaustion, and Jack had to drag him along. In the blink of an eye, the temperature drops rapidly at a rate visible to the naked eye. He found a ventilation duct. Throw a teammate in. The drooping flag was blown up in an instant. Jack watched him freeze into an ice sculpture. He also hurried into the ventilation duct. Sam Mountain people have finally returned to the library, but the danger is not eliminated. In pursuit of the cold snap, they are finally back on the ground with the virus. They collected the books, throw it all in the fireplace, to make sure the flames don't stop. And Jack on the other side also hit good luck, found a gas stove in the hideout. In the end, he survived the disaster safely. Soon after, his teammates woke up, but it didn't stay much longer. Start looking for Sam. In this extreme climate, inexperienced Sam won't last long. There's not much time left for Jack. On the way to find Jack found the crowd leaving the library, and they have not been spared. All killed. See the scene in front of you. The team can't help but persuade Jack. Sam is most likely dead, although Jack also understands. But he must fulfill his promise with his son. Finally, the next day, the storms on Earth are beginning to dissipate. Jack wakes up, heard a loud bang, until he opened his tent and found the storm has dispersed. They managed to escape the disaster, and the giant ship in front of you is enough to prove how insignificant humans are in the face of nature. And when the next disaster strikes, can they still be so lucky? The city was completely blanketed in snow. Free News becomes white and flawless. Everything seems to be restarting. I don't know how long it has been. The radar in the teammates' hands sent a prompt. Sam Chanshaw's library is at their feet. The two arrived at the library. Jack shouted Sam's name everywhere, but never got a response. Just as he was about to despair, but from a room on the top floor, saw the dim light. Jack pushed open the door. Sam takes these survivors. He survived unharmed. Unfortunately, the president was killed in a storm during the evacuation. The vice president, who was born in Mexico, became the president. And I have always regretted my previous stupidity. Fortunately, there is good news from Jack's leader. He finally understood how vulnerable humans are to nature. The reckless squandering of the Earth's resources. It is destroying the way of human survival. Soon after, military helicopters arrived in New York for rescue. Jack and Sam were successfully rescued. This film is a wake-up call for humanity. If we continue to squander resources without restraint, the end will come as scheduled. Wait until it actually happens. Humans may not have the good luck in the movie. More and more snow in June. Increasing summer temperatures. Every moment is foreshadowing. Even if the disaster is not tomorrow, it will come sooner or later the day after tomorrow.